Skenehe, Wakachanetti, Gene, Moi, Northward. Giathe, Gasoniosto, Disne, Ujigre, Gis Eset. Hello, how are you? I'm happy you are all doing well. My name is Marilyn Isaacs. I'm from the Tuscarora Nation. I'm a member of the Bear Clan, and I want to thank the Iroquois Indian Museum for inviting me to do this presentation as part of their artist demonstration. I started weaving when I was a teenager at the Turtle Museum in Niagara Falls when that was open. And I actually did not learn to weave from my mother or my grandmother or my aunties. I actually learned from a book, and this is actually the book that I learned from, right here. And I purchased this out of the Niagara Falls Museum. It's out of Cherokee Publications. I don't know if it's still available today. Well, good luck. There's actually another finger weaving book that I use, which is this one right here by Gerald Findley. This one actually has a whole lot of different artworks and a lot of different techniques available that he shows you. Lots and lots of different designs and patterns, how to do things. So this book is also available. And I learned a lot off of this book here. When I first started to weave, I started with acrylic yarn because there were a whole lot of pretty colors. I switched over to cotton yarn, which is more natural and feels more natural for me to use. I use different colors. I also use wool yarn, which is smaller and harder to work with. When I weave, I actually have to be careful with the wool because I actually have been known to break some of the yarn, the wool yarn. We're going to show you some of my works here that are in progress. I have different designs. Some are simple, some are very challenging to make. The different colors that I use sometimes were requested by the person who actually asked me to make a belt or a set for them. So I do have belts, I have armbands, leg ties available. And when people ask me how much do I charge, I actually prefer to trade with other artists for their artwork. I've traded for rattles, lacrosse sticks, regalia, beadwork, pottery. I've traded with different artists for their specialty, which this here happens to be my specialty. This finger weaving here. What else was I gonna say? My little notes here. My patterns that I came up with are mostly from trial and error. I'm not gonna admit that I made mistakes when I started weaving. I always made new discoveries of different patterns as I was going along. So like other artists may not even show you where the mistakes are in their work, I won't show you either where my mistakes are. I actually have entered art contests. This one last year, in 2019, I entered at the Ganondigan art show at their Music and Arts Festival. I took first place in the traditional category. This one actually has a diamond in the middle, so this is halfway, and I changed the diamond pattern as I go along, and then I changed it back again. And this one here happens to be made out of 100% cotton. There's over 100 strands of yarn here. I don't remember exactly how many. This one happens to be, I think, almost 9 foot long here. And this one took me years to make, years. This other belt over here that I made actually is more of a feminine belt, and I do mostly for men, but I have done women's belts as well. Right, I've done adult belts, children's belts, sets, whatever somebody requests for a trade. And we're gonna go ahead and move on over here to my weaving display right here. Okay, now this wooden rack right here is not a loom, it's not anything fancy. It is a broken down DVD rack, which actually I just use as my weaving holder. And we're gonna show you right now. I usually weave while I'm sitting on my couch watching TV at home in my living room. So I actually just hold on to the frame on the bottom with my feet here. And this happens to be a double pattern, so I'm going to take the strand from the inside, weave to the outside, and very much, I'm just going to start right here in the middle. You can watch me. All I'm going to do is take the strands and move them up and down, or forward and back, or an up and down motion until I get to the other side. Now with my opposite hand, I'm actually holding on to the tension as I go along. So I don't make a row and then tighten it. I gently keep the tension evened out as I go along. With the cotton yarn here, it has a better tendency to stay consistent, because once I tug it and put the tension on it where I want it to be, it will have a good tendency to stay in place. So after I separated them, the one string comes through to the far end. I'm going to grab one more string, and we'll do one more row here. And again, it is important to keep them in order so the pattern stays the same. And it's important to keep the tension even so it will stay pretty well flattened out the whole way through. There is a little bit of black on here, but I don't generally use a whole lot of black yarn or dark colors because they're harder for me to see. But this one happens to be one that I'm matching somebody's specific regalia, and they requested black. So after I get a couple of rows done here, I actually am right-handed and I only weave right-handed. So some people have learned how to weave in the other direction. I'm stronger weaving with just my right hand only. So I'm actually going to take the belt and flip it over. And this is the one that just got done. So now I'm going to do a couple of rows in the other direction. So here's my first strand ready that I got right out from the middle. This one is next, and I'm going to go under and over all the way across until I get to the end. And yes, I have to keep them in the exact order. Like I said, I usually weave in the winter time when I'm watching TV, sitting on the couch. And after a while, my hands actually just know what to do and they can feel what they're doing. And it may seem like it would be very monotonous, but it's actually therapeutic at the same time. This is my escape. This is my relaxed time. This is my hands just know what to do. I've been doing this for since I was a teenager, and now I have a granddaughter. So that's how old I am. That's how long I've been weaving. So I'm actually separating, and then I'm weaving with both hands. I'm not using a loom. I'm not using any dowels or anything else to separate the strings, just my hands. I've actually tried loom work on other people's demonstrations, and I was not able to feel the work that I was doing. So for me, finger weaving freehand is for me, and using looms or cards or different styles didn't work for me. So I take the center string, bring it through, and tuck it up on the side here. Then we just did a couple more rows down here. I'm actually going to take this apart here. I'm going to set it aside for now. I'm just going to wrap it up. For now, I'm going to tie it up. Set it aside for you. I'm going to show you the whole thing here now. So this belt here actually is a commissioned artwork, and it's for somebody's regalia specifically to match. It's for a male, and it actually will be available for raffle when Anita gets the rest of the regalia done, and it's going to be part of a men's outfit that she's making. So catch up with Anita. This belt will be for a raffle in the near future. And clearly it isn't done yet, but it will be soon. When I get to the fringe, to the end of it here, these ones here, actually, they're twisted together. These ones are twisted. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 2 strands. I'm just going to hook this on here so I can tug on it, and it'll stay. It's not doing anything else besides just holding the belt. So these 2 strands, I'm actually going to twist them just in my fingers, and I go in the same direction that the yarn is twisting, so I'm twisting it tighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it in my pinky, and I twist the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I take these 2 ends, I'm going to tie them together in a knot, and when I let go of them, they're going to twist around each other, and this will make the fringe on the end here. And I'm just going to do one more here for you, so you'll actually see. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to save these ones. So I'm actually going to twist these 2 so you'll see different colors come together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it in my pinky. Twist the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, 4, 5. Tie them together and a knot on the end of it. And then I let go, and they will twist around each other, and they'll stay. So my belts don't have any knots in the weave itself. The only knot is on the end of the string that's holding the fringe together. This is it. So this is what I do. This one actually is going to be a leg tie for somebody that's already, again, this is another piece of commissioned work. It'll be the finished off set here. There's another piece of this here. But when I actually start to weave, when I line up my colors, I actually just spread them out on a coat hanger, a wire coat hanger, and a wire is better because when I'm ready to start weaving, I can just hook it right on to anything. I can hook it onto my rack. Some people actually hook theirs onto a door handle. You can hook it onto the edge of a table, wherever you feel comfortable hooking onto and working. I actually have trouble calling this work because for me it's not work. I actually call this playing with string. This is my playing with string, kind of like, okay, I play with string, this is what I call it, and when I garden, I don't do garden work, I actually play in the dirt. It's the same concept. This is my playtime, this is what I do to relax. And I want to thank the Iroquois Indian Museum for inviting me to do this. This is my finger weaving, and I hope to see everybody in person when this COVID-19 thing is over. But for now, FKK.